What's up, you guys? It's Steve here, and we've got some stimulus check updates for you. And this is your stimulus package and stimulus check update. Take a look at some of these headlines coming out today. Cash is coming. Surprise stimulus checks for inflation. 5 states confirm that they're going to be sending out cash worth up to $500. This is going to be happening in 5 states. Also, Lightfoot's $12.5 million plan to give away $150 gas cards. We had heard that this was going to be taking place. Well, it says that it has hit some potholes. I'm going to give you the latest on that. And also, Illinois includes stimulus checks in their spring session budget plan. In the state of Illinois, looks like you could be getting state stimulus checks as well. So you guys, I'm going to dive into these articles, get you caught up on the latest stimulus check updates that we have for you. Now, before we dive in, also, if you missed my last video, you might want to check it out. I'm getting you caught up on the latest happening in Congress right now. As we're seeing, they're passing new phases of stimulus. Legislation is coming out, and we're expecting this to pick up as we get closer to those midterm elections. I also let you know that the Build Back Better bill, we're hearing that Congress wants to get this done by Memorial Day. So they have roughly about a month or so to get this done. And we will see. I'll keep you up to date. And also, gas stimulus checks are back on the table. The White House has taken into consideration 4 different bills that have currently been proposed to send out checks on a federal level to everybody in the nation. So I'll be sure to keep you up to date on all of these, but right now let's get you caught up on the latest on state stimulus checks. Now, before we dive in, if you could do me a quick favor, just takes a second, don't forget, smash that like button for the YouTube algorithm. Helps out my channel a ton. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Also, leave your comments, share this out. If this is your first time here and you'd like to stay up to date, totally free to do so. All you got to do is hit that subscribe button, come join the Ram fam, turn on that notification bell. If you got any specific questions for me, shoot them to me in the DM on Instagram at SteveRam3, and also consider joining the second channel, Steve Ram Finance, to learn about growing wealth and personal finance. More content coming on that channel here very soon. But with that being said, you guys, let's dive into the latest and get you caught up on stimulus checks. All right, you guys, so first up, let's talk about Chicago and what's going on there, as Lightfoot's $12.5 million plan to give away $150 gas cards and $50 CTA passes hits a pothole. Link in the description below if you'd like to read it for yourself. And it says, Mayor Lori Lightfoot's plan to use $12.5 million in city funds to give away 50,000 prepaid cards that will cover $150 worth of gas, as well as 100,000 passes that will cover $50 worth of CTA fares hit a pothole on Wednesday. Skeptical members of Chicago's City Council blasted the proposal as an election year stunt that would benefit oil companies without offering Chicagoans real relief from the pain at the pump. And yes, this is a midterm election year, so it's very likely, as we mentioned, that on federal levels, state levels, city levels, we're going to be seeing new legislation rolling out, maybe trying to entice voters to keep them in power. And we're going to see more of this very likely as we get closer to elections. And it says, we are literally burning up $12.5 million. Brendan Reilly, 42nd Ward, said, adding that he opposed any plan to subsidize the purchase of oil or gas with taxpayer funds. The money would be better spent making the CTA safer and cleaner to boost ridership back to pre-pandemic levels. Funding 5 round trips of CTA and 2 tanks of gas will not move the needle for Chicagoans struggling to make ends meet, he said. The decision by the Budget Committee Chair Alderman Pat Dowell, the 3rd Ward, not to hold a vote on the measure as planned is an indication that it did not have enough votes to advance to the full Chicago City Council, which is next scheduled to meet on April 27th. So for those of you that had heard this news about Chicago maybe sending out these prepaid cards, looks like it might be hitting a standstill and not going forward. Now, I'll keep you up to date on that, but wanted to give you the latest news on what's happening in Chicago. Now, next up, let's talk about the entire state of Illinois. Link in the description below. Illinois includes stimulus checks in the spring session budget plan. The article says, put on another pot of coffee. The final day of the Illinois General Assembly spring session is here. Now, this is why it matters. The legislature is set today as the deadline to pass the state budget and other crucial bills. So this is going to be happening right now. Now, Governor JB Pritzker and Democratic leaders from both chambers agreed on a balanced budget plan with $1.8 billion in tax cuts, including, first up, stimulus checks to most Illinois residents, suspension of the grocery tax, freeze of the gas tax for 6 months, up to $300 in property tax rebates for residents, and a freeze of taxes on school supplies in August. Now, of note, the budget also pays down an extra $200 million to the state's pension debts. And what they're saying, once again, Democrats are demonstrating that ours is the party of fiscal responsibility. The other side, this isn't a triumph of good management. The state is simply experiencing an inflation-induced sugar high, GOP House Floor Leader Mark Batnick said in a statement. So this is coming out in the state of Illinois. I'll let you know if it comes through, but a lot of tax rebates being proposed, stimulus checks to the state of Illinois. And now let's talk about some states that have already approved this up to $500. Link in the description below to this article. Take a look, you guys. Cash is coming. Surprise stimulus checks for inflation. 5 states confirmed that they're going to be sending out cash worth up to $500. Surprise stimulus checks have been introduced to help struggling Americans, with some states already confirming that they are set to start sending payments worth $500. 5 states across the country have announced that they passed legislation to give tax breaks to their eligible residents. Now, one of the U.S. states that has approved new tax relief is Idaho. Reports from Marca have said Governor Brad Little signed a bill back in February for $350 million for tax rebates. Now, in order to get the payments, eligible taxpayers need to be full-time Idaho residents and file tax returns for 2020 and 2021. Alternatively, they need to be full-time Idaho residents filing grocery credit refund returns. Now, Georgia residents are also going to be in this list who have filed their 2021 and 2022 tax returns will also be entitled to rebate payments based on their tax filing status thanks to the state budget's surplus. Individuals in Georgia could get $250, while married couples $500, and $375 is estimated per head of household. So in Georgia, you can be getting some checks from the state as well. And those who filed their taxes before the signing of the legislation are still set to receive the payments later, while those who have not done so yet need to complete their tax forms before April 18th so that the rebates can be added to their tax refunds. The same also goes for Indiana, where a significant budget surplus led by Governor Eric Holcomb to announce taxpayers would receive $125 tax refund after their filing in 2021 taxes. All right, so next up we have New Mexico. New Mexico residents are set to receive a one-time tax rebate of $250 for single filers, $500 for married couples. Now, in order to be eligible to receive the payments, residents must fulfill certain criteria, such as having income lower than $75,000 for singles and $150,000 for married couples. And residents in New Jersey are set to receive $500 payments as long as they file their taxes using taxpayer identification numbers rather than social security numbers. Meanwhile, we've got a couple bonus states. Listen to this. A number of states have also been introducing legislation to help out their residents. So, introduced legislation might be passed here soon, but not official. The previous 5 were set in place. Californians could receive a payment of $400 per vehicle with a cap of 2 vehicles, with Hawaii Governor David Eagle proposing sending $100 to each taxpayer. So California and Hawaii also have proposals on the table. And in Maine, Governor Mills wants to send $850 to the majority of its residents. In Minnesota, lawmakers are also checking for a proposal to give out $1,000 income tax rebate checks per couple. And in New York, also a proposal for $1 billion property tax rebates has been introduced to help struggling New Yorkers. And lastly, another one. Virginia lawmakers are reportedly expecting to pass legislation for tax relief rebate checks, but the amount has not yet been confirmed. It could be between $250 to $300 for singles and $500 to $600 for married couples. So there you have it, you guys. States stepping up to the plate to try to help out people with these increased gas prices, which we are hearing is not going to be coming down anytime soon. So I'll keep you up to date on more states, cities, and also on a federal level if they decide to pass any of these 4 bills that are currently on the table for gas stimulus checks. But you guys, that is the latest. And as always, thank you so much for joining me. If you made it this far and you haven't already, don't forget, take a quick second, smash that like button for the YouTube algorithm. I appreciate it. Helps out the channel a ton. Also, leave your comments, share this out. If this is your first time here and you like to stay up to date, totally free to do so. Come join the Ram fam. All you got to do is hit that subscribe button, turn on that notification bell. If you got any specific questions for me, shoot them to me in the DM on Instagram at SteveRam3, and consider joining the second channel, Steve Ram Finance, to learn about growing wealth and personal finance. But with that being said, you guys, thank you so much for joining me once again. Hope that you and the family have a blessed Friday, and I will catch you in the next one. Take care. God bless. This is Steve.